The hunger was a living thing. It wasn't just a physical sensation, it was a relentless force that gnawed at my very soul, a constant gnawing presence in the pit of my stomach. It was as if a beast resided within me, clawing and tearing, never satisfied, always demanding more. It clawed at my insides, a stark reminder of the emptiness that surrounded me. The city, once vibrant and full of life, now lay in ruins, a decaying carcass of its former self. The silence was almost worse. It was a heavy, oppressive silence that seemed to press down on me from all sides, a heavy, suffocating blanket muffling the world. It was as if the very air had been sucked out, leaving a void that echoed with the absence of life. No car horns, no laughter, no music. The sounds that once defined the rhythm of daily life were gone, replaced by an eerie stillness, just the hollow echo of the wind whistling through the skeletal remains of buildings. The wind seemed to carry with it the whispers of the past, a haunting reminder of what once was. I pulled my tattered coat tighter, seeking any warmth it might offer. The fabric, worn and thin, did little to shield me from the biting cold. The sun, a pale ghost in the sky, did little to penetrate the chill that had seeped into my bones. Its weak rays barely reached the ground, casting long, eerie shadows. It had been so long since I felt the warmth of another human being. The touch of a hand, the embrace of a friend, these were distant memories fading with each passing day. So long since I'd heard the comforting cadence of a human voice. The silence was a constant reminder of my solitude, a void that no amount of introspection could fill. Each footstep on the cracked pavement echoed in the stillness, a stark reminder of my isolation. The sound reverberated through the empty streets, a lonely symphony of one. The world had shrunk to the confines of my own existence. The vast expanse of the city felt like a prison, its boundaries defined by my own despair, my thoughts, my fears, my fading memories. These were my only companions now. They were a constant presence, a reminder of the life I once had and the emptiness that now filled its place. They swirled around me, a maelstrom of despair threatening to pull me under. Each memory, each fear was a weight dragging me deeper into the abyss, a relentless tide that I struggled to resist. Yet amidst the darkness, a flicker of hope remained, a distant, faint light on the horizon, a reminder that even in the bleakest of times, hope can still exist. With each step, I clung to that hope, refusing to let the darkness consume me. The journey was long and arduous, but as long as that flicker remained, I knew I could endure. The city, once a vibrant tapestry of life, now lay in ruins. Its streets, once bustling with the energy of countless souls, now echoed with an eerie silence. The buildings, which had once stood tall and proud, now crumbled under the weight of time and neglect. Buildings stood like hollow-eyed giants, their windows shattered eyes staring out at the desolation. These structures, once homes and workplaces, now served as silent sentinels to a forgotten era. The wind whispered through the broken glass, carrying with it tales of a time when laughter and life filled these spaces. Rusting cars, remnants of a hurried exodus, littered the streets like fallen soldiers. Each vehicle told a story of panic and desperation, of families who fled in haste, leaving behind their possessions and dreams. The once busy roads, now cracked and overgrown, bore the scars of abandonment. Nature, in its relentless advance, had begun to reclaim what was lost. The green tendrils of life crept over the decaying remnants of human civilization, a testament to the resilience of the natural world. In the absence of human interference, plants flourished, turning the grey ruins into a verdant landscape. Vines snaked up the sides of buildings, their emerald tendrils a stark contrast to the greying concrete. These green invaders wrapped themselves around the skeletal remains of the city, as if trying to heal the wounds inflicted by time and neglect. The once lifeless structures now teemed with new growth. Trees had burst through sidewalks, their roots tearing apart the very foundations of what was once a bustling metropolis. These towering giants stood as symbols of nature's triumph over human constructs, their branches reaching skyward in a silent victory. The sidewalks, once pathways for hurried feet, now served as the bedrock for new life. The air, thick with the smell of decay and dust, carried a haunting silence. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence that told the story of a city that had once been alive with sound and activity. Now, only the whispers of the wind and the occasional rustle of leaves broke the stillness. It spoke of lives cut short, of dreams turned to ashes. The remnants of a once thriving community lay scattered like the pieces of a broken puzzle, each fragment a reminder of what had been lost. The city, now a shadow of its former self, held onto the memories of its inhabitants even as it crumbled into oblivion. I remembered the city's pulse. The cacophony of car horns, the laughter of children, the rhythmic thump of music spilling out from corner cafes. The streets had been alive with the sounds of life, a symphony of human existence that played day and night. Those memories now seemed like distant echoes, fading into the past. Now only an eerie quiet remained, a silence so profound it felt like a physical weight pressing down on me. The absence of sound was deafening, a stark reminder of the void left by the departed. The city, once a beacon of life, now stood as a monument to silence. It was a graveyard of memories, each shattered window, each crumbling wall, a testament to the life that once thrived here. The remnants of the past clung to the ruins, refusing to be forgotten. Every corner, every alleyway held a story, a fragment of the city's vibrant history. And I, the lone survivor, was condemned to walk among its ghosts. The spirits of the past lingered in the shadows, their presence a constant reminder of what had been lost. As I wandered through the desolate streets, I felt the weight of their memories pressing down on me, a silent chorus of voices that would never be heard again. Each day blurred into the next, a monotonous cycle of survival. I scavenged for scraps, my footsteps echoing in the silence of deserted supermarkets and abandoned homes. The shelves, once overflowing with abundance, now stood bare, picked clean by time and desperation. Sometimes in the shadowy corners of buildings, I'd catch a flicker of movement, a fleeting glimpse of something lurking just beyond the reach of light. Rats, most likely, grown fat and bold in the absence of humans. But the primal fear that tightened its grip on my chest whispered otherwise. The shadows seemed to hold their breath as I passed, watching, waiting. I'd quicken my pace, my heart pounding against my ribs like a frantic bird in a cage. The silence was no longer empty, but filled with unseen eyes, with rustling movements that set my nerves on edge. The city held its breath, and so did I. I stumbled upon a shattered mirror in what was once a grand department store. The shards scattered across the dusty floor reflected slivers of the fading light, and in one I saw him. A gaunt stranger stared back, his eyes hollow and haunted. His face, once smooth, was now covered in a rough beard, the lines etched deep with despair. His clothes, ragged and torn, hung loosely on his emaciated frame. The stranger in the mirror was a ghost of the man I used to be. Gone was the spark of hope, the easy smile. In its place, a bone-deep weariness had taken root. I looked away, unable to bear the reflection of my own despair. It was a painful reminder of all that I had lost, all that I could never reclaim. The loneliness of this existence pressed in on me, threatening to crush me beneath its weight. Sometimes in the dead of night, the memories came, vivid flashes of the life that was, before the world went silent. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the cacophony of laughter and joy that once filled these spaces. It was as if the world had been put on mute, leaving only the echoes of what used to be. I found myself drawn to the places where those memories lingered most potently. A park where I used to take my daughter on swings, a bustling diner where I shared countless cups of coffee with friends, the Grand Theatre where I proposed to my wife. Each location held a piece of my heart, a fragment of my soul, now shattered and scattered across the ruins of a forgotten world. Standing amidst the ruins, I could almost hear the echo of their laughter, feel the warmth of their presence. The park, once filled with the joyous cries of children, now stood as a monument to lost innocence. The diner, a hub of camaraderie and connection, now a hollow shell echoing with ghostly whispers. The theatre, a place of dreams and declarations of love, now haunted by the shadows of what once was. The ghosts of their smiles danced in the dust motes that swirled in the air, taunting me with their absence. It was as if the universe had captured those fleeting moments of happiness and suspended them in time, forever out of reach. The dust, illuminated by the pale moonlight, seemed to carry the essence of those I had lost, a cruel reminder of their permanent departure. The pain of those memories was a double-edged sword. They offered a fleeting solace, a reminder of the love and joy that had once filled my life. Yet they also served as a cruel reminder of all that I had lost, all that I could never regain. The bittersweet nature of these memories was a constant torment, a reminder of the fragility of happiness and the inevitability of loss. Yet they also served as a cruel reminder of all that I had lost, all that I could never regain. The weight of this realization was almost unbearable, pressing down on me with an intensity that threatened to crush my spirit. The ruins of the park, the diner, and the theatre were not just physical remnants of a bygone era. They were symbols of my shattered dreams and broken heart. The city was a graveyard of more than just buildings and infrastructure. It was a graveyard of my past, of my happiness. Each crumbling facade, each broken window was a testament to the life that had been stolen from me. The once vibrant streets, now eerily silent, were a stark reminder of the passage of time and the relentless march of decay. Each step through its desolate streets was a painful pilgrimage through the wreckage of my own life. The journey was not just a physical one, but an emotional and spiritual odyssey through the depths of my grief and despair. Every corner turned, every shadow encountered was a confrontation with the ghosts of my past, a reminder of the love and laughter that had been extinguished. The city, in its desolation, mirrored the emptiness within me, a stark reflection of a soul left in ruins.